What's going on, guys? Welcome to Soniq Sounds, and today we're going to talk about how to use Logic 10.5 sampler and quick sampler and how I have completely ditched battery. And it's been a good change because it does load up fairly fast compared to battery. Not sure what was going on with battery, but it was taking a very long time to load up for me. So I went to my kitchen, recorded a bunch of sounds, and I'm going to use them, and I'm going to use them in quick sampler. And I'm also going to use my drum kit that I gave out for free that you can find the link in description for. Download that and use it in your project as well. So let's see how Logic 10.5 workflow has been really amazing using the new quick sampler and the sampler. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned, I went to my kitchen, recorded a bunch of things. So here are some of the sounds. It's a door, faucet, a frying pan. This is going to be a pitched instrument that I'm planning to use. That's a pressure cooker. I'm going to use that as a sound effect. So let's do that. Let's bring the door sound effect in. And as soon as you bring it over, it asks you what you want to do with it, whether you want to put it in a drum machine, a sampler, quick sampler, alchemy, and there's a bunch of different additive, synthesis, granular, or spectral synthesis. So let's just go to quick sampler and drag that over to quick sampler. And what Logic is going to do is going to create a sample. Now you have a bunch of options. You can literally just click your notes and it will start playing it based on a pitch. Or you can do a one shot where it'll play the whole thing. I'm going to slice it up. All right, so I'm going to find the slices that I like. I like these three that you can see here. You can either choose it to play till end. You can choose to gate it. You can use to flex it, so it'll follow the tempo. Just going to zoom it in. You can choose to do a monophonic or polyphonic right here, what volume you want it. And also, if it's a pitched instrument, you can glide it right here. So let's just put a simple drum pattern. I'm gonna do an EDM style track, maybe. Let's do 115 actually, not completely EDM. So let's just lay down a 4 on the floor drum pattern and see what it sounds like. We have a drum pattern, and I think there was a slice that I could use as a snare right here. So I'm just going to duplicate this instrument. Just going to cut some of the lows here. Double click. They have a new EQ where you can do high EQ, and the mid-side processing was already there in Logic. So let's just place the snare. All right, we'll just duplicate that throughout and loop it up. So that's going to sound like this. All right, a little bit of a quantize issue right here. So let's see. All right, I'm just going to keep the first half of the pattern, and we're going to loop this right here, so it sounds like this. All right, perfect. So what we're gonna do is there's a microwave sound right here. Just gonna bring it in actually first, and let's go to File, Function, and normalize this audio so it's a little louder. Now I know there's this part of the tune that I want to use as a sample. I know it's going to be super loud, so let's just listen to it. All right, so that's the part that we want to use. So I'm just going to select that and delete everything else. And what you can do is you can also just drag this audio to the side here, and it'll say optimize or original. So let's go to optimized, bring it in, and it already found out that the tune was, that the root key was B4. So now, if you go to that register, you'll be able to play this sound on the track. I'm going to use this as a chord pattern. Let's see how this sounds. All right, so we have this. Hit a Q, quantize it, and see what it sounds like. Didn't quantize exactly the way I wanted it, so let's quantize again right here. And All right, now that we have that, let's add a bit of reverb to it and see what it sounds like. Reverb, Chrome verb. All right, so now that we have that, let's use the pressure cooker sound and make a nice effect out of it. Now, this is just going to be a simple audio trick. Obviously, you can use this if you want in a sampler. Don't really need to. This is how you create your own sound effects. Let's see how that sounds like. Okay, let's just bring that here. Perfect. So now that we have that, now let's use the frying pans as a hi-hat. So again, I'm going to go to optimized. I'm going to slice this up, and you can change the sensitivity. So I'm going to change the sensitivity more or less like this, and just going to use the first sample right here. And what's great is you can do zero crossing right here. So that means it will not clip the audio. Let's see what other samples sound like. I like this one. So I'm just going to play this as and use this as a percussion. So, all right, so let's layer that up. First, let's just do the hi-hat type of pattern and see what it sounds like. And what I like doing with some of these drum samples is if you go to the MIDI effect and go to velocity processor, just bring it all the way up or maybe bring it around 100 so you'll get the most consistent punch and it's going to sound the same. So I'm going to do that with a lot of the other things as well. Now, again, remember, if you want some kind of variation like humanization, do not do this because you won't get that. So I'm just going to bring these sounds down a little bit because they'll be much louder. Now what you can also do is you can do Control B and bounce this. So now you have this audio that's relatively low. The audio is still there. Go to File, Reverse, and you can use this as a reverse riser. So if you were to go here, works pretty perfect. So I like the other part of the frying pan as a Foley as well. So let's just add that. So it's going to sound like. Sounds pretty cool. I think we still have the faucet sound. Let's see if we can use it anywhere. I think we can still layer it as a effect right here. Cool. So now that we have all of these samples, we can go ahead and start arranging this song, start bringing in some of the other instruments. If you have an 808, you can actually load that into a quick sampler or the sampler in Logic right here. So let's just go here and load up a sampler and try and do a quick 808. So I'm going to go and find my 808. All right, so this is the 808 that I like. I brought it in and I clicked zone per file, and now it has laid out the 808 right across this whole spectrum. So I can play my 808. So what I'm going to do is cheat a little bit. I'm going to copy my microwave pluck sound. Just going to go and take out a lot of these top notes and see how this pattern sounds. I'm going to do select all, shift and slash, and going to just do force legato. Another cool thing is if you go to the detail section right here, you can do a mono or polyphonic. Just do monophonic, and then also if you want to glide, you can change the glide right here. Find your sweet spot and see if the glide is what you like. All right, so let's see how that sounds. So let's bring this up, see how that sounds. All right, so let's bring that second one up as well and see how this sounds. Let's see how this sounds in the song. Alright, so we've used a lot of Logic Sampler and almost all of my samples except this 808 to create this particular track. So another thing you can do is I've copied the microwave track right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Logic's effects, and I'm going to do any one of these effects. You can do the remix effects or the step effects. I like the fat effects. I'm going to bring it in and run the sound through this. Sounds cool. So let's do this. Let's move all the root notes down an octave and see what that sounds like. And let's play that with this. So that's it. That's the use of Logic's sampler. As you can see, I used a lot of audio from my phone to create this effect, and it was pretty simple to get started. I used everything that was built into Logic, didn't use any third-party plugins or anything like that. So hopefully you guys found that helpful, and you can see that you can record your own sounds and samples right into Logic Pro and get started with creating some really cool sounding, unique sounding drum patterns, unique sounding percussion sounds, and drums that sound unique to your style. So I urge you to try and record your own samples, make your own Foley, incorporate them, layer them into your tracks, and see how you like it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Also, if you tried this, if you know any other cool techniques, leave them in the comment below. Anything else you want to learn about, anything else you want me to do a tutorial on, just let me know, and I will see you guys at the next one. As usual, if you like the content, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.